The alien broadcast channels buzzed with excitement. Dozens of species tuned in as Earth's first interstellar fleet emerged from the Orion Gate. What are those supposed to be? One Trelvax admiral laughed so hard his facial frills twitched. Are those ... thrusters from the Third Age? Others scoffed. The camera panned to a group of human ships limping through the void. The lead vessel looked like a massive, broken oil tanker with mismatched armor plates, scorch marks, and a rotating dish held together with cables. Humans are flying junkyards, one alien commentator joked. But back on Earth, inside a dark command center, Admiral Rika leaned over the holotable. She was calm, confident. She looked at the fleet reports, then at her staff. Let them laugh, she said quietly. It's what makes this work. The galaxy of kings and WARORDS, the galaxy was old. Ancient. Empires ruled the stars with fleets. So clean they looked grown, not built. The Alvari cruisers shimmered with crystal armor. The Macthos ran machines the size of moons, and the Trelvax. They were the loudest and proudest of Alphemus for broadcasting every military move as a message of power. For a long time, Earth had been silent. After discovering faster-than-light travel, humanity stayed hidden, watching, listening, studying. The alien wars that seemed never-ending. The aliens thought humanity was afraid. They were wrong. The human fleet arrived when Earth finally spoke. It sent a fleet, not a fleet of polished glory ships, not a parade of gleaming cruisers. Instead, 12 battle-ready ships emerged from the jump gate. Dan the Galaxy laughed. The UNV. Damascus looked like it had been stitched together from 5 different designs. The Salvager's Hope had one wing, scorched black, and another patched with what looked like mining scaffolds. One destroyer, the Clunker, still bore faded corporate logos from Earth's long-dead mega-dash firms. Alien analysts mocked the fleet in real time. Memes filled the network. Images of floating scrap with captions like "Now delivering pizza, ... to the war zone." But hidden under those ugly shells were systems the galaxy had never seen. Meeting the TRLVA Sex, the Trelvax Empire had claimed the Orion sector for over 300 years. Their ships were sleek, fast, and terrifying. When the human fleet requested diplomatic entry, the Trelvax sent a single cruiser, the Varnek's Claw, to meet them, on board. Admiral Scare viewed humanity's transmission with disgust. Scrap piles. Dare request audience? He hissed. The 2 fleets met in high orbit around a dead moon. Cameras recorded everything. "We come in peace," said Admiral Rika, standing tall on the bridge of the UNV Damascus. Her voice echoed across frequencies. Admiral Scare's voice came through a second later. Dripping with mockery. "We thought your kind had vanished into your own gravity wells," he said. "We didn't realize you were building a museum fleet." Mockery. A live alien audience, millions strong. Rika said nothing, her eyes locked on the signal feed streaming from her fleet. They were ready. The secret. Under the RUST, what the aliens didn't see was the web. Each human ship wasn't just a vessel. It was part of a swarm-linked AI network called Neuralis that had been under development for 20 years in secret Earth orbit labs. Unlike alien battle systems, which followed rigid military doctrine, Earth's AI learned from chaos. Time a ship fought, Neuralis evolved, adapted. The more unpredictable the enemy, the smarter the system became. The rusted exteriors. They weren't just old. They were a trick designed to lull enemies into underestimating what lay beneath. Dangerous PAC. After the mockery-filled meeting, the Trelvax proposed a peaceful patrol. They invited the human fleet to enter their space for a shared systems. The invitation was approved by the Galactic Council. Earth accepted. Rika's staff had doubts. Some said it was a trap. Others argued it was a chance to show diplomacy. Rika remained still. "Send the fleet," she said, "but switch Neuralis to adaptive monitor mode and load counter-jump protocols." The human fleet moved into position. They drifted into a quiet sector, dark, empty, full of asteroid fields and old mining routes. Silence followed. "Something's not arrived," HT inside the bridge of the salvager's Hope. Lieutenant Tam looked at her console. Her screen flickered. "Ma'am," she called out, "we're picking up strange particle patterns. It's not asteroid dust." The scans showed faint signals buried deep inside the rocks. Heat signatures. Metal holes. Silent ships. Hidden Trelvax cruisers. Riker received the same report a second later. "Activate ShadowNet. Full silence. Prepare Ghost Array." The crew nodded. Calm. They'd trained for this. The aliens thought they had set a trap. But Earth had laid a deeper one. Across the sector, cameras hidden in the rocks blinked awake. The Trelvax Admiral Scare gave the order to fire in 5 minutes. Earth's fleet drifted, motionless, no weapons hot. No shields raised, but inside every rusty ship, neural engines were spinning to life, and deep in the core of the UNV Damascus, Neurellus came fully online, its first message to the fleet. Engaging adaptive combat mode. Prepare for response pattern. Chaos bloom. In 5 minutes, the galaxy would witness something it had never seen, an Earth's junk fleet. It was about to make history. The Trelvax fleet was waiting, hidden. Inside the asteroid fields of Sector K9, 15 sleek alien cruisers powered up their weapons. Their hulls shimmered in the starlight. Their cannons locked onto Earth's approaching fleet. "This'll be quick," Admiral Scare smirked. "One volley, and those flying dumpsters will be space dust." But on board the UNV Damascus, Earth's, Admiral Rika gave a single order. "Hold course. Don't raise shields." Her crew blinked. "Ma'am, they want to see Rust," she said, voice like iron. "Let them." The Trelvax fired, and that's when the real fleet came online. The first SDRIK, the first plasma barrage hit the clunker Daydawn. Alien observers cheered, but the feed glit. Seconds later, the clunker was still there. This rusty armor burned, but intact. Then it moved faster than any of the Trelvax expected, sliding sideways with sudden, jerky thruster bursts. "What?" The alien captain shouted. "It shouldn't be possible." On the UNV Damascus, Neurellus activated full combat sync. All 12 human ships came to life. Erratic. It's unpredictable. Pulsing with hidden energy nodes. Every thruster and cannon was controlled by the AI web. The fleet wasn't 12 ships anymore. It was one brain with 12 bodies, and it was angry. The Chaos Bloom STRA aliens fired again, expecting direct battle instead. The human ships scattered. The salvager's Hope jettisoned, its outer hull revealing fast-rotating railguns hidden beneath scrap panels. It dove through asteroid cover and fired straight through 2 enemy ships from below. The Rust Rat rolled into Varend, launching EMP bursts that jammed the Trelvax's auto-targeting systems. Suddenly, the sleek cruisers couldn't lock on. Clunker, barely damaged, flew in reverse spinning mid-thrust, firing from blind angles. The alien formation crumbled. They had trained for traditional warfare. Clean formations. Predictable attacks. But humanity's fleet fought like chaos unleashed. Admiral Scare, PNIC, from the bridge of the Varnix Claw. Scare watched as ship after ship blinked out on his monitors. "This isn't possible." Roared. "They're using garbage tech," the science officer spoke up. "Sir, it's not what they're flying, it's how. A is SIF. That's what they are. Don't follow standard logic. Their move is erratic. Every attack unpredictable." Scare ordered a full retreat, but it was too late. The UNV Damascus emerged from the asteroid ring, charging forward at full speed. A high-energy rail spike launched from its underbelly, piercing the Trelvax flagship's rear engine. Scares. Ship shuddered. Lights failed. Air hissed. "Broadcast blackout," he shouted. "Don't let the council see." But the stream had already gone galaxy-wide, and the galaxy had seen everything. Aftermath. The fleet of Riders, 9 of 15 Trelvax ships were destroyed. The others fled into deep space. Earth's fleet held formation scarred, dented, but victorious. On the bridge of the Damascus, Admiral Rika stood silent. Officers cheered, but she didn't smile. This was just a scouting force, she said. The real war hasn't started yet. Galactic RAICTON in council chambers across alien space. Leaders watched the replay at first. They thought the Trelvax had staged it. But then came the raw footage unfiltered. Unedited, they saw the rusty ships dance through battle like shadows. They saw neural-linked maneuvers that no single species had ever pulled off. One Elvari general whispered that was not luck. The humans hadn't survived. They had dominated back on Earth. Neuralists calculated potential alien responses. One message kept appearing. They will strike harder next time. But Rika already knew. She looked at the stars and said softly, "Let them come. We're not finished building." Because hidden in Earth's orbit was an entire scrapyard of broken warships waiting to be reborn. Inside the gleaming walls of the Galactic Council's high chamber, laughter echoed. A hologram floated above the round-table grainy footage from the Trelvax's failed ambush. It showed human ships drifting in space, held together by bolts, rust, and recycled steel. A Draenori diplomat chuckled. "Are we seriously debating strategy against flying junk?" A Makthos warlord slammed his fist on the table. One skirmish doesn't make them dangerous. But then, a second hologram-activated draw footage leaked from the battle's edge. The room fell silent. On screen, a Trelvax cruiser spun out of control, its engine pierced by a rail spike. Another ship exploded in slow motion, taken down by what looked like a garbage hauler. The laughter died. Council Raja, Ansel represented 37 species. They'd overseen peace and war for millennia. But Earth wasn't even a member yet. To them, humans were still a curiosity, backwater species that arrived late to the stars, talking big, building weird tech, and dressing it all up in rust and grit. Some called them brave, others foolish. The Trelvax demanded action. "They ambushed us," Scare's assistant lied, "used hacked tech, maybe even outlawed AI." Council leaders were skeptical AI from humans. One ambassador scoffed, "Their species only. Discovered jump drives a century ago. They probably still use fossil fuel somewhere." The vote was simple. Issue a formal warning. Demand Earth disarm. And send observers. But no military response. After all, what could scrap ships really do? Earth's RSPO, NSC on Earth. The transmission arrived in Admiral Rika's hands within minutes. She read it out loud. "Disarm all autonomous systems. Cease fleet expansion. Submit to inspection." Her officers stared in disbelief. "Are they serious?" asked LT Tam. "We just wiped out half a Trelvax fleet." Rika nodded. "They're serious and stupid." But she didn't argue. Didn't respond with threats. Instead, she opened a secure channel. "Activate Project Emberfall," she said. Somewhere in low orbit, dozens of silent, half-built ships powered up. The scrapyard was waking inside Earth's secret PROH and beneath Earth's equator, in a hollowed-out mountain known only as Vault Black. Project Emberfall was born years ago. Its mission, to make war machines that defied traditional logic, instead of clean, repeatable systems the Emberfall engineers built. Chaos. Ships that reconfigured during flight, weapons made from scavenged alien designs, armor that looked weak but absorbed energy like a sponge, AI that learned from every mistake and shared that data instantly across the fleet. The best part? It all looked old, broken, harmless. That's why it worked. A growing Arumar back in space. A rumor began to spread across the alien networks. A Makthos mercenary leaked it on a dark channel. Trelvax ships didn't just lose. They were outthought. The humans fight dirty. Their ships move like they've got ghosts inside. Another message followed. I watched them break formation, did battle intentionally, and bait Trelvax ships into crossfire. It wasn't luck. It was a pattern. The galaxy started paying attention. The term junk fleet started to fade. A new name took root in whispers, the Rust Armada. Trelvax demands WAR back in council chambers. Scare returned. This time, he was furious, humiliated. "Refused your disarmament order," he roared. "They're expanding their fleet. What more proof do you need?" The council hesitated. They weren't ready for war. Not with the Elvari still rebuilding from last year's frontier conflict. Not with the Macthos threatening secession. Then we'll do it ourselves, Scare growled. He didn't wait for permission. He left the chamber, called his generals. The Trelvax war factories lit up. 32 cruisers were ordered to mobilize an entire subfleet. The plan: crush Earth's fleet in a single, overwhelming strike. Erase the embarrassment. But the Rust Armada had grown. New ships, new tech, new minds linked to Neuraless. And this time, you're expecting company in the quiet void above the dead planet, Zatnine. Trelvax's scout ship arrived. Empty space? No. Human signals? No fleet. Just wreckage. The captain scanned the field. No heat signatures, no movement, just floating debris. They drifted closer, engines humming, then a body bumped the hull. Then another. Old ship parts. Helmets. Scraps of twisted metal. Looks like they were ambushed, the helmsman said. The captain grinned. Typical humans fell into their own trap. Then the wreckage blinked. One by one, ships hidden under. Fake debris came online, silent, cold, invisible to scanners, and the Trelvax realized. They weren't watching a graveyard, they were standing in an ambush. Zhao 9. Strategic bets at a 9 was worthless. No resources, no life, no stations. So when Earth's fleet was reported there, Trelvax commanders laughed. Let them rot in dead space. But Admiral Rika had picked Zatnine for a reason. It was where the galaxy dumped old ships, a ship graveyard, stretching thousands of kilometers, perfect for hiding, perfect for traps. Neuraless named the operation Phantom Bloom. 12 new ships joined the Rust Armada half-finished. Barely held together, but fitted with cloaking debris systems and stealth-linked. Pulse drives. They looked like junk, but they moved like phantoms. The Trelvax fleet arrived days later. The main Trelvax strike force dropped out of FTL-32 war cruisers in formation. On board the Varnix Claw II, Admiral Scare grinned. Wipe them out. No survivors. They didn't see the ships in the wreckage, didn't detect the charges hidden on the floating debris, didn't notice how the field slowly shifted as Neuraless calculated optimal angles. Then the Rust Rat powered on and launched the first pulse. The ambush UNLA Satide, the blast wave shut down 5 Trelvax cruisers before they fired a shot. Then the Ghost Fleet lit up. The Clunker II emerged from a cloud of wreckage and fired 2 anti-shield torpedoes directly into a formation's flank. UNV Ghostwake, a brand-new human stealth ship, unleashed a rail volley that tore through 2 cruisers in one pass. The Salvager's Hope returned repaired, refitted, now using Trelvax tech against them. Neuraless activated full adaptive mode. It began creating new tactics mid-battle, even adjusting ship positions by calculating enemy fear patterns and movement. Hesitations? The galaxy had never seen a fleet fight like this, not with strength. With chaos and learning, the Trelvax BREA KS Admiral Scare watched the battle collapse. Every time he ordered a regroup, the Rust fleet split again. Nothing followed a pattern. One human ship even pretended to power down and launched a plasma burst point-blank into his wing escort. "This is madness," shouted. On board the Damascus, Admiral Rika was calm. "They still think like commanders," she said, "but our fleet thinks like a storm." The broadcast that shocked the Galaxia hidden probe recorded everything and streamed it live, then leaked it. The feed went viral. Within hours, across the galaxy, a sleek alien cruiser, 20 times the size of a human. Ship getting pulled into an asteroid trap. A so-called broken freighter flipping mid-spin and carving through enemy lines. AI chatter moving faster than any known species tactical network. The final shot. A burning Trelvax cruiser, slowly falling toward Zatnin's surface, leaking debris. Followed by a rusty human ship, drifting quietly behind it untouched. The caption: "The Rust Armada isn't a joke anymore." Aftermath victory in SILNC. The battle lasted 47 minutes. Earth lost 2 ships. The Trelvax lost. 19. The rest scattered. But the humans didn't pursue. They stayed hidden, ghost-like. Watching, waiting, Rika gave one simple order: hold position. Let them run. The message was clear. Earth didn't need to chase. The galaxy would come to them. The Trelvax fled. But they weren't the only ones watching. In a quiet corner of space, the Alveri High Command studied the battle logs. One general asked, "Should we prepare for war?" The commander replied, "No. We prepare to negotiate. Before we become the next wreckage floating over a dead world." The Trelvax Home Defense Command received a priority alert. Human fleet detected on outer perimeter. 5 ships non-standard class? The admiral frowned. Scrappers again? Destroy them? Missiles armed. Energy weapons locked on. But when the targeting systems engaged, the screens flickered. Nothing locked, no patterns. Just noise. Then, from behind their own satellites, a message pulsed across every Trelvax system. "This is Earth. We're not here to talk." The satellites exploded, and the real fleet came in from the dark side of the moon. The first offensive SDRK until now. Earth had played defense. The battles of Zetanan and the asteroid ambush proved they could win, but now Admiral Rika made a bold choice. She launched the Rust Armada straight at the Trelvax border outpost. Fort YEL tracks, it was one of their strongest military positions, heavily armed and surrounded by orbital mines. But that didn't stop her, in fact. It was perfect. "Let's test what they do when the junk comes knocking," Rika said. Stealth entry, the chaos strategy, GROW. As rather than arrive in formation, the Rust Armada scattered. Some ships disguised themselves as cargo haulers. Others drifted behind comet trails. One floated in his actual scrap hit systems. It's completely cold until the last second. By the time Fort Yeltrax's defense sensors spotted the threat, the Rust Armada was already inside the perimeter. 1 minute. Silent ships. The next minute. Railguns. And plasma bursts firing from every direction. The chaos was planned. No patterns. No traditional tactics. Just unpredictable strikes from every angle, every ship, every vector. The Trelvax gunners fired wildly, but nothing hit. Their defenses had trained for clean battles. The Rust Armada was anything but. The battle to Renessuman. Ships moved like broken machines possessed by ghosts. The Clunker 2 exploded outward, ejecting dozens of kinetic mines into the enemy ranks, the UNV. Ghostwake used its reflective armor to bounce targeting beams. Back at the Trelvax, confusing their own weapon systems, and the Salvager's Hope docked itself onto a Trelvax defense. Stationed mid-battle, tore it open. Uploaded Neuralis directly into its core. Now the enemy's own computers worked against them. Their shields dropped. Their weapons shut down. One by one, defense platforms fell. A massive psychological SHEF tear crossed the Trelvax Empire. Fear-spread news broke quickly. Earth has invaded Fort Yeltrax. Trelvax border fleet in chaos. Humanity is advancing. Alien citizens demanded answers. How could a species with rust-covered ships break through one of the most advanced defense lines in the quadrant? The Trelvax government tried to spin it. The humans used illegal tech. It was a surprise attack, not a real battle. We were overwhelmed by trickery. The galaxy wasn't buying it anymore. The Rust Armada wasn't a joke. It was a problem. Aftermath, a new kind of WIR Fort Yeltrax was left in ruins. Earth didn't occupy it. Didn't raise a flag. They just left. Rika's strategy was clear. Destroy resources, not claim territory. Force the enemy to stretch themselves thin. Keep them afraid. Back on the UNV Damascus, her officers reviewed Neuralis data. LT Tam pointed to a screen. "We only used 40% of our combat algorithms." Rika nodded. "That's the point. We haven't even shown them what we're really capable of." She looked at the stars. "This isn't a war of fleets," she said. "It's a war of ideas, and their minds are already breaking." Deep in a hidden orbital lab, Earth's engineers watched. Battle data stream in? One turned to the other. "We're ready to activate the hybrid prototypes?" The other nodded. Alien tech, human unpredictability. The next phase begins. And in the blackness beyond Neptune's orbit, 3 new ships powered up. Sleek, strange, silent. The galaxy had no idea what was coming next. The Trelvax Armada 40. Cruisers, fully armed, pristine, shining with alien engineering, emerged from warp near the Tarun Belt. They'd come for vengeance. They'd come to erase Earth's insult. Admiral Scare stood tall on his new flagship, confident. End them, he ordered. No more games, no more tricks. But 60 seconds later, half his fleet lost contact. His sensors showed ... nothing. No ships, no heat, no trace. Just silence. Then, in that silence, a single audio signal played across. Every Trelvax channel, you're not fighting a fleet, you're fighting something that learns. And the screaming began. The final standoff, so they Tachu'd to the Trelvax, had assembled every remaining cruiser in the quadrant. It was their last big move. A show of overwhelming force. The galaxy watched live. Dozens of species tuned in to see. The so-called Rust Armada crushed, but when the battle began, the broadcast lift first. Static burst and blackout. Then the feed returned. What it showed would change the galaxy forever. Neuralis, UNL, a seedy humanity, had never used its full neural warfare system until now. Neuralis, when active across the entire battlefield, linking all human ships and adaptive drones into one massive combat network. Every ship shared, every calculation, every error was corrected in merscrums. And every Trelvax movement was anticipated. Before it happened, it didn't matter that the aliens had better shields or bigger guns. They were fighting something faster than instinct. Something alive. The fight unfolds. The UNV Damascus fired a pulse that bounced off debris and struck 3 cruisers hiding behind asteroid cover. The Ghostwake 2 vanished mid-battle and reappeared behind enemy lines, disabling propulsion cores. The Clunker 2 now upgraded. With hybrid Trelvax thrusters, faked a systems failure, then detonated a drone swarm right inside the enemy formation. The salvagers, hope still covered in visible rust, launched a counter-jump loop that forced 6 enemy ships to collide in hyperspace transit. This wasn't just a battle, it was a dismantling. The Armada COL LAPSC is in less than 20 minutes. 32 Trelvax cruisers were gone, some destroyed, some drifting, lifeless. Others lost control and jumped away into deep space, never to return. The remaining ships tried to regroup, but they couldn't. Neuralis predicted every regrouping point. Wherever the aliens gathered, the Rust Armada was. Already there, waiting in silence. Scare screamed on his bridge. This isn't war, it's sabotage. But it was strategy. Earth didn't need more firepower. It only needed smarter thinking. Galactic, reaction shock, and Dakaro. When the footage finally stream-leaked by an anonymous Elvari source, the galaxy froze. Billions watched. As elite Trelvax warships spun helplessly in space, surrounded by Earth's chaotic fleet of ugly rusted ships, still flying, still winning, the biggest takeaway? Earth had destroyed 32 cruisers, and they'd lost none of their own. No one laughed anymore. The meme of junkyard humans died that day. Now, they were called something else. The Learning Fleet. Scare's final Diafa back on his damaged flagship. Scare sent one last message to the Council. We've lost. Underestimated chaos. We underestimated Earth. They didn't beat us with fire. They beat us with ideas. And then he powered down his ship. The Trelvax Empire never saw him again. In the Elvari High Command, a new debate begins. One general says, "They'll come for us next." Another whispers, "No, we need to join them." And on Earth, Admiral. Rika watches it all unfold. She doesn't celebrate. She simply says, Phase 2 is complete. Now we build peace. On our terms. But peace would not come easy, because new powers had just awakened in the shadows of a shattered moon in Elvari. Covert agent floated silently through the wreckage of a destroyed Trelvax cruiser. He wasn't here to rescue. He was here to learn. His mission: infiltrate one of Earth's abandoned ships, get inside the Rust Armada, find out how humans had defeated a fleet of superior ships without losing a single one. He reached a derelict vessel. The UNV Broken Promise scanners showed it was dead. He slipped inside. 5 minutes later, he activated his stealth uplink to Elvari High Command. I've entered, and I think we've been fooled. He paused. The Rust, it's fake. The mystery of the FLET throughout the war, alien analysts couldn't make sense of Earth's ships. Why were they built from scrap? Why didn't Earth upgrade them? Why did they keep flying in strange, ugly shapes? Now the truth was coming out, and it wasn't what anyone expected, revealing the LI inside the UNV Broken Promise. The Elvari spy discovered armor that looked corroded until he scratched it. Beneath the rust, an ultra-dense, energy-absorbing alloy coated in nanite camouflage, the so-called patched hull. Fully integrated hybrid plating from multiple alien technologies and the power systems. A fusion of human design and captured Trelvax cores reworked into unstable but deadly reactors. It was all an illusion. The Rust Armada didn't look like junk by accident. They wanted to look weak. Earth Strategy, EXPLA, ENED, back on Earth. Admiral Rika briefed a new wave of officers. She laid it out clearly. Every war in galactic history has followed one rule. Look strong, fight strong. We reversed it. We looked weak. So they underestimated us. So they got close. That's when Earth struck. The Neuralist network thrived in chaos. It needed imperfect conditions to learn. A rusty ship flying erratically, broadcasting. False heat signatures? That was Neuralist's playground. Every battle Earth fought wasn't just a fight. It was a data harvest. And the more Earth lost in simulations, the more it won in reality. The Rust is a WAEPO, and every part of the junk fleet had a purpose. Rusty panels, absorbed sensor pings, and warped thermal imaging. Unstable drives, jittered ship movements, confusing enemy targeting, odd ship shapes. Disrupted formation reads, dead drones. Reactivated on Neuralis command and attacked from behind. Open wiring and exposed gear. Deliberate distractions for visual targeting. Systems. The Rust was never a weakness. It was camouflage. Psychological warfare, and the galaxy fell for it. The Elvari. Spy Susta Elvari agent barely made it out as he left the derelict ship. Activated a silent alarm. 10 seconds later, a cloaked drone passed by and scanned him. He made the jump. Before it fired, he returned to his leaders. ... Terrified. We're not fighting humans, he whispered. We're fighting something smarter than us. Galaxy-wide SHOC, Katha report was leaked. Millions read the details. Earth's ships weren't junk. They were weapons of deception. Every loss was staged. Every weakness designed. All trust in traditional galactic military logic collapsed. Old empires panicked. New alliances formed. Some wanted to fight Earth, but others, they wanted to join them. Back on Earth, Rika received a message from the Elvari High Command. We offer negotiation and ... possibly an alliance. She looked at her officers. See? She said Rust isn't what scares them. It's that we didn't need their approval. Far out in deep space, a new signal appeared. Unknown origin, unknown language. It simply said, you are not the only ones who adapt, and something new was coming. A lone Trelvax ship drifted toward Earth's defense line. It wasn't cloaked. No weapons armed. Inside, Ambassador Krell played Earth's old transmission on loop. You're not fighting a fleet. You're fighting something that learns. He tapped a reply. We surrender. But Earth's response came not in words, but in action. The Rust Armada parted, and behind it, the hybrid fleet emerged, sleek, silent, glowing with alien and human tech. One final message blinked on every galactic channel. Surrender, or be salvaged. The galaxy held its breath. The last RSI stance, so while some empires bowed, others refused. The Zaran Unity launched an emergency fleet 600 ships built in silence. Designed to destroy Earth's neural AI systems, they believed. Brute force still mattered. Admiral Rika disagreed. "We've already won the war," she said. "They just don't know it yet." The hybrid fleet, unlike the Rust Armada, didn't look broken. It was polished, streamlined, lethal. But the real upgrade wasn't the hull, it was Leo. The hybrid fleet's first BATTL, the Zaran fleet, arrived in formation. Perfect geometry. Coordinated to the macroscond. It didn't matter. Neuralis 2.0 had already absorbed every known battle pattern across the quadrant, including simulations from the Zaran's own training academies. Earth's ships moved like thoughts, fast, fluid, predictive. The UNV Iron Rebirth warped through a Zaran destroyer mid-phase, tearing it apart with gravity interference. The UNV Ghostwake 3 activated a silent protocol, vanishing from sensors entirely while disabling enemy comms. Swarm drones from the salvagers torch infected enemy systems and caused ships to spin out of control. In 10 minutes, the Zaran formation broke. In 15, they surrendered. The moment of Galactic SHIFT broadcasts rolled across the galaxy. Earth defeats the Zaran in record time. Hybrid fleet shows unmatched adaptability. Is Earth now the central power? Ambassadors from dozens of alien worlds began pouring into Sol space, requesting treaties. Some begged for peace, others offered alliance, and a few offered their own technologies in exchange for protection. The Rust Armada had started the war. The hybrid fleet ended it. Earth's TERMS, at the first interstellar summit, held aboard the neutral station Orbital Haven Admiral. Rika stood before the galaxy's leaders. "We don't want an empire," she said. "We want a future." Her conditions were simple. Free access to Earth's AI education systems. Ban on centralized planetary AI weapons. Less opt-in with full disclosure. A council made not of the powerful but of the capable. Then she added one last point. "We'll help rebuild what we destroyed if you let us teach you how not to make the same mistakes again." There was silence. Then applause. Even from former enemies. The final TWIST, but far beyond known space. Something watched the mysterious signal from before. "You are not the only ones who adapt." Was finally decoded. It wasn't a threat. It was a challenge. It came from an ancient AI civilization thought long extinct. Their message? "We watched you learn. Now we'll see if you can survive us." Begin phase 1. And in the dark between galaxies, something awakened.